Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today's video is going to be get unready with me and talking about stuff about therapy and my insights about it. So if you guys would like to see more, keep on watching. And if you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Alice. I'm a content creator. I mainly do beauty and lifestyle related videos, but I also do a lot of videos like this. So if you guys are into that, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be informed of new videos that I upload. Okay, so I just washed my face. I just finished washing my face earlier. So I'm gonna be talking about therapy because I've been on therapy for quite a while. And if you're someone that's like looking for an insight of someone that has been on therapy and you know what it feels like, what I've learned, this is gonna be that video. But if my camera cuts off, that means my battery ran out. But I do have my spare battery on hold right now, so there will be parts that will be cut, but don't worry, you know, this is going to be a whole unedited video. Okay, so since I've cleansed my face, we're gonna tone. And this is a bunch of cotton balls, okay? I'm not toning with a aloe vera gel, okay? So first thing I've learned, okay, so before we go with, you know, the first thing I learned is, let's go through a very brief history of how I got into therapy and stuff like that. I got into therapy at the age of 15 or 16 from a relative, because this relative noticed that I've been very out and isolated. By the way, I just applied my toner. I was, you know, really distant because I was experiencing depression. And that's one of the things. If a person that you felt like wasn't really themselves, that's the first sign of they're going through something. And you know, going to therapy is very important because sometimes when you're in that state, you feel isolated, you feel alone, you just don't feel like yourself. And I definitely felt like that for a while. Like since I think 14 or 15, I've felt like no one understands me, no one, you know, likes me, and I'm unworthy. And you know, I was confused. But then that relative of mine said, you know, you should go to therapy, you should, you know, talk to a professional. And I did, with that relative's perseverance and persuasion. I went. Initially I wasn't a big fan because I'm like, you know, the stigma about therapy or going to a professional about your case, it's not cool. But I quickly learned that it's very important that you talk to someone about your feelings. And when I started going to therapy, I went twice a week. And by the way, that relative of mine paid for my sessions, and it's not cheap. Okay, until now, the same therapist that I go to is the one that, you know, I first saw so many years back. So we go way back. This person, you know, my professional, I call her my professional, just basically listens to me talk and ramble and ask her questions of why I feel this way. And you know, it's really helpful. So yeah, that's when I first went there. I go on and off to therapy because there are times that I'm fine, but there are times that I'm like, And the last time I went to therapy was last month, July, because I wasn't feeling okay, honestly. So I went to my therapist and I'm like, you know, what am I gonna do? We did do social distancing, like we spoke in like different rooms, and it was okay. It was nice. By the way, I was able to get out of the house, but my therapist actually lives in the same neighborhood I live in, so it's okay, thank God. Yeah, so what are the things I learned during therapy? I've been doing my toner for like 4 minutes. Okay, so before I go with that, I'm gonna go with my serum. and with my jade roller. Okay, so what is the first thing I learned in therapy? Honestly, this is gonna be cliche, but it's okay not to be okay. I'm not kidding. That's the first thing I learned. It's okay. You have to acknowledge what you feel like, and it's kind of hard to accept that, if you ask me, because it's a very instinctive thing that we do, that we usually reject what we feel like. Okay, my battery died. Okay, so first thing I learned, it's okay not to feel okay. Honestly, it's okay. You know, it's very instinctive, according to my therapist, that we reject that notion that when you're not okay, it's not okay to be not okay, but it's actually fine to accept that feeling. You know, it's fine that we are not okay on certain times. You know, it's definitely not okay. If you know, say, oh, it's it's not, like, it's very normal that we reject that, but we have to accept it. So yeah, that's the first thing I learned. Second thing I learned in therapy was, well, not was, is you have to accept that feeling, because when you don't accept that feeling, it's basically, you know, letting you bottle up all those emotions. And now I don't bottle up my emotions anymore. If I don't feel okay, I say it, because, girl, the resentment, the pain is just gonna bottle up inside you, and when it's too full, it's just gonna, it's like when you shake a bottle or a can of soda and you pop it open, it just explodes, right? That's how you would also feel. So, you know, not bottling up your emotions is the key to go to feel better. So just let it out when you're angry, when you're upset. And when, you know, one of the things I absolutely love about therapy is when I'm upset at someone, I can tell it to my therapist, and my therapist can definitely tell why I'm upset with that person, because they're professionals, you know. Another thing I learned, so I think this is the third thing I learned, is when you're upset at someone, you have the option to let your emotions just like roll around, or look at it on a light that is very objective. Like, I usually get upset with people who are against my beliefs. Like, I absolutely hate people who just like talk smack and feel so entitled. But here's the thing, even if they're not doing anything to me, I know that, you know, I'm upset because it's against my beliefs, but I don't act out on it, because that's very wrong. Now, I'm done with my serum. It's fully absorbed. Now we're gonna go to my moisturizer. So what is the other thing I learned? I think this is the fourth thing I learned in therapy, is that my battery died again. Okay, so I think that this is gonna be the fourth thing, right? So fourth thing I learned in therapy is that when you're on a mental breakdown, it differs from person to person. And I have a very, very specific way when I go through a breakdown. So, you know, my therapist told me that I completely shut down when I'm having a meltdown. Because there was one instance that I went to her because I was like, I don't know what I'm feeling. I'm like this. I'm like telling her everything. And my therapist was like, oh, you're going through a breakdown. You're basically shutting down, but you're stopping yourself from shutting down. And it's actually okay to have a mental breakdown once in a while, so everything can clear up. And the last time I had a mental breakdown was, I think, a couple of months back. And it was messy. Okay, that meltdown was a messy thing that I've done in my life. That I'm like, I'm never not gonna do that again. Never. But I think it will still happen. Because you'll never know when a breakdown is gonna happen. Believe me. And then, okay, so I'm just gonna apply some eye mask because this is gonna be the last step and this is gonna be the last tip I'm gonna give you about therapy. Not tip, but another thing I learned in therapy. Okay, so I'm just gonna get my eye mask. This is from BioAqua. I'm gonna make a video about this, by the way. Last thing I learned during therapy is that different people go through different emotions, and even if we're different people and we're going through different things, different emotions, different ways of coping, here's the thing. No one will adjust to you just because you have, you know, a certain mental illness. So you also have to know yourself before you ask people to understand your condition, because you never know what other people are going through. And you know, as hard as it sounds, it happens. And this is how weird this eye mask is. Honestly, I've been using this for quite a while and I love it. So yeah, that's the last thing I learned in therapy. It's just like, you need to... My battery just keeps dying on me. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, so basically the last thing I learned in therapy was, you know, to adjust. People will not adjust to you. So you have to, you know yourself more and love yourself more so that other people can understand you and love you. Okay? That's one of the things. And I hope that my battery will not run out. Feeling ko dalawa to. Dalawa ka ba o isa ka lang? Isa lang. Because sometimes, you know, this mask tends to stick to one another. This is actually the mask that I use to go to bed in. And I love it. I look weird, I know. But this is the price of beauty. So yeah, those are basically the things I learned. And I look so weird ending this video, but this is, you know, this is what I look like most of the time. Okay, so those are the things that I learned on during therapy. I'm still going through therapy sometimes when I feel like I need some professional guidance. And therapy is not cheap, by the way. So I don't go to therapy that often, unlike when I was younger, because I don't ask my relative to pay for my therapy anymore. But yeah, if you are going through something, talk to a professional. Sometimes a professional can help you more. So, you know, talk to a psychologist, a therapist, you know, talk to a professional about your feelings and let them know that you're confused, you want to know what to do, because they can also teach you like techniques to cope with, you know, things that are happening, especially in... Okay, so that's basically it for today's video, you guys. I know I look weird ending this video, but if you want to see more and if you would like to know resources, I'll put it below in the description box. And of course, don't forget to follow me on my social networking house, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe this video and click the notification bell. And I'm gonna go to bed now, so thank you so much for watching, guys. And I'll talk to you guys on my next video. And I love you guys so much. Thank you. Road to 2K na tayo. So I'll talk to you guys on my next video. Bye! Mwah!